Hello, friends. Welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by Mizzen and Main. I am Tom Downey, back from vacation, and so too is the Cowboys Report. We'll start things off with some injury updates on your Dallas Cowboys. Marcus Martin, as I'm sure many of you guys have heard, well, he's done for the year. A torn ligament in his big toe. He was competing for a roster spot on the interior of the offensive line as a center / a guard. And it now leads the Cowboys a bit thinner than I would like, and I'm sure many of you would like, on the interior. So Martin done for the year. Leaves Joe Looney and some guys we haven't heard that much about competing for other roles there alongside Chaz Green. So that's Marcus Martin. Next up on our injury report, we've got Travis Frederick, and this was the one that kind of freaked me out. I'm sure it freaked many of you out yesterday. Went to have tests done on his shoulder on Wednesday. The good news is they've come back, and they're nothing serious. He just will continue to deal with those shoulder stingers that he's had. The Cowboys will play it cautious with Travis Frederick. They're going to limit his reps. They are not going to risk injuring him, further injuring that shoulder. It's just a stinger, so in the end, it's not a big deal, but it is something worth monitoring for the Cowboys. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully it's not a big deal for the Cowboys long term, but I just want to monitor that one going forward because this is Travis Frederick after all, and he's an essential part of the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. All right, next up is Leighton Vander Esch and his groin injury. Now has a strained groin, missed practice on Wednesday, won't practice today either. It is minor, but it's another Leighton Vander Esch injury, and that's a bit of a concern for me, and I am curious what you guys think here as well. We'll bring up that weigh-in for you here. Because Vander Esch has dealt with injuries for a good portion of this offseason and this preseason. And he missed a lot of minicamp and OTAs. Now he's missing part of training camp. Now, they're all minor. They're not like season-ending injuries. But if he keeps dealing with the nagging ones, that's going to impact how often and how early he can contribute to this Cowboys team. So let me know if you are worried about LV's injuries, because as of right now, I am. Folks, today's clothing is provided by Mizzen and Main. They are the most comfortable dress shirts you will ever find. And if you want one of your own, head to comfortable.af today. Awesome shirts here, made in America as well, providing me with my clothing for today's show. All right, next up on the injury report, Tavon Austin has a tight hamstring. Cowboys played it safe with Austin during Wednesday's practice. They're banking on him being a key playmaker, so they're not going to risk rushing him back and getting him hurt even further. They'll play it safe. You might not see Tavon in week 2 of the NFL preseason against the Bengals this week. Next up, Noah Brown continues to battle a hamstring issue. It's an injury that has cost him much of training camp, and that's a big red flag for Brown because he's fighting for a roster spot, and if you're on the verge of not making the roster, not being able to play is not going to help you at all. So the injury is hurting that. It's allowed guys like Lance North to thrive. As a result, Noah Brown in a bit of a rough spot here with that hamstring injury. Hopefully he can come back soon. The receivers, well, they continue to battle injuries overall. Deonte Thompson has Achilles tightness. I doubt we see him week 2 of the preseason. It's cost him a good portion of camp as well. He wasn't guaranteed a roster spot, is still not. But with Noah Brown banged up too, with Cedric Wilson out for the year, I think you'll see Thompson make the roster, and especially if he's able to beat out Lance Lenore, who's looked very good, who we'll talk more about later on in today's show. Next up, Cole Beasley has a groin injury. He will not play against the Cincinnati Bengals in week 2 of the preseason later this weekend. The Cowboys are not going to rush Cole back to action. There's no reason to do so. It is a minor injury, and yes, it's not ideal, but the worst thing that the Cowboys could do is rush Cole back when he already has the chemistry with Dak Prescott, have him get hurt, and be even thinner overall at wide receiver. Folks, we're trying to get to 2K subscribers on the Cowboys Report YouTube channel. We're only about 33, 34 away. So go to chatsports.com/CowboysTV today. It'll take you right into the subscription page there. All of our great Cowboys coverage, all in one spot for you. That's chatsports.com/CowboysTV. All right, next up, Jeff Heath has an ankle sprain. Now, he went through pre-practice walkthroughs yesterday, but the Cowboys will be cautious. I doubt we see Jeff Heath Saturday against the Bengals. That does mean more time, by the way, for one Kayvon Frazier. But my big concern overall here with the Heath injury is the Cowboys don't have the safety depth to survive with Jeff Heath getting hurt. They don't have the bodies overall. That's a big red flag for me. And overall, it's a big reason why I want the Cowboys to add another safety. And I'm curious what you guys think as well. Do the Cowboys need to add one? Give me a 1 for a yes and a 2 for a no. I think the Cowboys need a fourth body. Doesn't have to be Earl Thomas, but I like it to be somebody out there because if Heath goes down, or Woods, Frazier, whomever, you've got 2 guys, and a bunch of either undrafted free agents or guys that were minimum free agency signings like Marquise Huff, it's not great depth overall.